Hey guys, it's Janine with Cook Pray Slay and welcome back to my channel. Today we're making one of my family's favorite things to eat. This is on the rotation on a weekly basis in my household, but we're making my quick and easy honey teriyaki baked salmon. Alright guys, so before we get started with this delicious recipe that I know you're going to love, please, if you haven't yet, definitely subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell down below so you receive all of my future videos and recipes. Alright guys, so I'm ready to get this recipe started. I know my family can't wait for it to be done because after this video, we're actually going to eat it. So before we get started though, you always want to make sure to preheat your oven at 350 degrees. And so I just set my oven to preheat, and while it's doing that, I will show you guys all of the ingredients for this easy and quick recipe. I'll start with the salmon. I have about 1.5 pounds of salmon. And I will be seasoning the salmon with some salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic salt or garlic powder, and then of course I have my glaze here. And basically the glaze or sauce, whatever you want to call it, consists of teriyaki sauce, honey, and minced garlic. Now if you don't have teriyaki sauce, you can always use soy sauce, or like I always use a low sodium soy sauce. And you can also use coconut aminos for a gluten-free approach. Now keep in mind, you don't want to add too much salt, season the salmon with too much salt, because your teriyaki sauce or soy sauce, whichever one you're using, typically has a good amount of salt. So I go pretty light on the seasonings that I'm adding to the salmon. So here's my glaze or sauce, my teriyaki sauce mix with the honey and minced garlic, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pour it into the bowl. So I'm just going to like swoosh it around in there. Alright guys, so as you can see, my salmon is swimming nicely in my teriyaki soy sauce blend, and we're done with this step. I'm gonna set this aside, prep my baking sheet, and also slice up that onion. Alright guys, so I'm just gonna slightly spray this with cooking oil, whatever you have, vegetable oil, olive oil, it doesn't matter at this point. All we want to do is just make sure we give it a nice coat so your salmon doesn't burn. So now we're going to cut up our onion. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have sliced up my onions. They're in pretty thick pieces, and I like it that way because you don't want them to overcook and burn. So I just chop them up in nice thick chunks, and we will lay them over the salmon when we put it in the oven to bake. All right, so now that that's done, I always like to take the excess sauce that's in the bowl and I just pour it over. And that's just going to soak in there, and just all of the flavors are gonna work together, and it's gonna be super delicious. All right, so we're almost done, guys. All we need to do is add our onions. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And you can just lay them over the salmon. Like I said, you want them to be on the thicker side, because I like nicely caramelized onion. We don't want them to cook too quickly. So that looks like it'll be enough. All right, guys, so the great thing about salmon is that it cooks super quickly. So with this recipe, in about 20 to 25 minutes, the salmon's done and it is on our dinner table. So I am definitely choosing, though, to cook the salmon for the first 10 minutes covered with the foil on, just to ensure the inside gets done nicely. And I will take it off after the 10 minutes so the outside and the top of the salmon can brown nicely. Depending on how it bakes, I may decide for the last minute we will go ahead and put it on broil, because I always like the top of my salmon a little bit charred and on the browner side. But that's up to you. It's definitely an option, but I'll show you what it looks like. All right, guys, so our 20 minutes is up and my salmon looks so good and it smells so good in here. Like I mentioned earlier, I do like my salmon a little bit charred on top, so I'm gonna go ahead and broil it for about a minute and a half, just to get the tops nice and brown. So I will show you what that looks like. Okay, guys, so here's my salmon. Like I mentioned, I did put it in the broiler, only for about 2 minutes. I didn't want the onions to completely burn, so I took it out, but it's perfect as is. And as you can see, I just kind of soaked the onions in the sauce here, the remaining sauce, and I'm gonna go ahead and lay them on top of the salmon. And this smells so amazing, guys. Now, if you want this to yield more sauce, just make sure you make extra of the glaze or the sauce that we poured on top of the salmon, and it'll yield a little bit more sauce for you if you like it a little bit more on the saucier side. Add some green onion. Look at that. Quick and simple dinner. 25 minutes from start to finish. You just can't beat that. All right, guys, so our quick and easy honey teriyaki salmon is done. 25 minutes, start to finish. This is the perfect weeknight dinner, and especially when you're in a pinch for time. Salmon is always delicious. It cooks quickly, and the great thing about it, you can put it on top of rice. You can serve it over a salad. You know, it just depends on what we're in the mood for. Tonight, we'll probably have it with some rice and a side of stir-fried vegetables. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I will include a link to the recipe down below. Shoot me some comments, let me know what you think, and also what other types of recipes you would like for me to do on this channel. So again, if you haven't, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so you get all of my future recipes and videos. Take care, guys.